backfield, and he wasn't just running wide receiver plays. There were real tracks and real runs. And so I'd asked him, I was in Dallas at the time. We had a player that was going to play two positions, and how do you prepare somebody into that space? When we were together in Atlanta, his wide receiver profile tape was as detailed as you could ever imagine. So I got lots of love for Mike and for him. So it's cool to have our teams to go into battle today. So all that said, lots to cover. So let's get it rocking with you guys.
Coach, can we stick actually with Coach McDaniel real quick?
Sure.
Your experience with him, like when did you kind of know you got a head coach in your future?
We worked together in 2015 and 16, and he just had this great balance between the run game, the passing game, and he had this vision of how you saw both of them together. So as you guys both know, the best part of play action pass is making the run game and the play pass look so similar. So this formation, this look, this identity, and so he just had this really cool way of teaching, and anybody who spent time with him knew this was a rare person in the way that he could explain things and make it easy to follow, because I think the best of the best make the complex seem simple, and Mike was really good at that.
Obviously his personality, right? Everybody loves his personality. Was it the same back then, and how does that kind of stick out to you?
Yeah, and Mike's always been a big thinker, and so there's sometimes you'd see like clouds that would pop over somebody's head, like if it was a cartoon, what's going on up there, and it would take a minute, and then you'd hear some answer, you're like, that's exactly right. And so you knew he had just special traits. And I was probably from the first time that I had a big interaction, we were doing profile tapes when we all got together in 2015 about traits for the position, and the one that he did specifically on wide receivers was just remarkable. And so I learned early on that he had special traits to him.
And I don't know if you saw his comments yesterday or heard his comments yesterday, but he said talked a little about the struggles he had with substance abuse when he was in Atlanta. And he said he doesn't think he'd be here today without you. You just kind of touch on the help you provided him through that time.
Well, I think all of us need teammates. And so that was nothing different than just trying to be a good teammate. Mike did the work, but all of us have had spots that we need people to support us, and I was glad to step into that gap to help support him and his family when he needed it, and I know he would do the same in return.
I know it's just the preseason, but they had the indoor offense a year ago. What kind of test do you think you did for your practice and everything? I know they're probably not going to do everything to do, but what kind of test were you?
No, it's a great question, because in the preseason you actually want to put people into the hardest looks and the hardest matchups. So there's times you'll want to do some things just to put some stress onto a call or to a person in a coverage or whatever that might look like. And so to see the different elements offensively, defensively on teams, I think it's a great test. And these are at practice perfect times to do that. And play man-to-man coverage, play a zero blitz look, play things that maybe you wouldn't normally do, just to really emphasize the stress and the evaluation of that play or that player. So I am really in favor of these practices. I think they make a lot of sense, and having to do it one day, then the day off, and then the practice, it really times up well. You'll see some players get a lot of reps today and then not many in the game, and then some very few today and get a lot in the game. And also, there's a good selling point for that, for the player that's going to get few today. Saturday's coming, and you get a chance not only to perform for our team, but potentially for 31 others to show what you can do. And so I think there's a lot of value in that.
You made some changes to the quarterback's room. Can you
Yes.
kind of walk us through those decisions and sort of an update on Sam Hartman?
Sure. So we'll start from the injury-wise with Sam. So not able to play in this weekend's game, and so Marcus also had an injury of a groin. It's not long. I think if this was probably in the regular season, this would be a guy who would want to go through that. That's not the correct decision at this time for him. So with both quarterbacks who will be down for the game, we thought it best to add to that. And we're fortunate that Trace was available and flew in last night and physical this morning. So let's go. But he will build in some plays, so as we got to the game, there would be some ones that he'd feel comfortable with. So that's where we're at there.
And with Martavis, do you expect him to get much time in this game?
We do. We'll see where we can, Nikki, and it's much like Trace to say what plays can we do. And so the easy thing there is, as you're getting to it, say these are the handful of plays that you'd feel comfortable calling with he and Trace in, and that way they can perform fast too, because that's important for us. We're not going to put a guy out there that's not ready to compete and perform. So if the package can be learned by Saturday in a very small amount, then we'd be willing to do that for sure.
Dan Cliff's been calling plays for a long time in this league. How much autonomy are you giving him compared to you maybe giving some input on what you want out of this offense from these two?
Well, we're almost done the install portion of that, and so we have two more, both sides of the ball when we get back to Ashburn. So next week, a little more. Then we'll have gone through kind of the entire install, and so then now that starts to tighten up. Okay, what's specific that we want to go and carry and use over and over. So he's done a good job of going all the way through, the process. Like we said, we have still 2 more sessions to go where we're going to install some new things. Then after that, you don't want to install a lot of new things. It's about the execution of doing over and over again. But he and the staff have done a really good job. The run game, the passing game, the play pass, obviously seeing some of that at practice. There's some hard concepts to defend, but ultimately it comes down to what the guys do best. And that's really, from Zach to the runners to the quarterbacks to the receivers. And that's really, to me, where the secret sauce is, not just here's the playbook and you have to know it. It's finding the right plays. And also, there's some plays that are specific for just a player. If it's one that you need, a tight end to, split out and, use the speed to go, then that's one that we can feature Zach. Does that make sense? Where it's different guys to use in different ways. So he has a very, very strong understanding of that.
Where are you at with the wide receiver 2 search?
I would say we are right in the middle of it. And so you'll see a lot of guys in today. You'll see 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a lot of guys that are really battling. I've been really impressed with Alameda, and I thought he's had a really strong camp. Looking forward to getting Luke some extra work into here, Jahan, Diami. So that's where we're at, and then the special teams is going to have a factor in that as well.
Do you expect Jahan to play a similar volume of snaps as he did last week?
Probably. Yep, I would say I don't know if it'll be the exact same, but it'll be in the similar space, same high volumes on the other guys that I listed as well.
What would you like to see more or less of from him? I mean, just having come in new season with any new player, what would you like to see?
Yeah, I think with all the guys that we were talking about at that spot, the urgency, the run game, the pass game, so the quickness in and out of breaks. So not everybody plays the same spot, Nikki, but I do want to see with he and with all the other guys really finding some really competitive moments, that plays after the catch, the blocks, at the point of attack. Sometimes even in man-to-man during this phase of evaluation, did he beat the person even though the ball didn't go to that spot? So I'm really trying to evaluate them with and without the ball.
Some of the vets that didn't go in New York, do you expect everybody to go Saturday night? Is this the real kind of dress rehearsal?
Can you like Zach?
Wagner, Allen.
They'll get a lot in today, but it'll be limited for the same, kind of the group that you saw, with the exception of Wiley is doing well, practicing today. He'll get some reps in, so that'll be a big piece. And Ertz won't play in the game, and he's not here at practice today.
Is that injury related?
It is not injury related. It's for an excellent reason.
Got it.
To that end, with some of those vets possibly out in terms of the offense, how does that affect how much you guys might show of him on Saturday?
You mean like with the addition of Andrew and?
Well, with what you have on offense, how much are you gonna does that factor into what you can do with Jaden in terms of the amount of series?
Oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. No, I think you'll see more today, Ben. And that's kind of by design to say, can we push more here and less Saturday? It's hard you can't go both, So by having these, it's you don't get it, where I can just go and go. So that's the advantage of you have to really make a decision. And so knowing, I also talked to Mike too, who's going to play for them in the game versus here, and so he'll play more here, and so that's important.
Obviously, the conditions here are a little bit better than last week. How do you think that will allow Jaden to potentially show more? What are you kind of specifically wanting to see from him this week?
What I like about the end of the practice is that's when we do a 2-minute. So all four offenses, so to speak, get one set. So their offense will get two, our offense will get two. That, to me, is a really good one. I love the red zone work, that we can get specific to do those. So I'd say those two spots, the red zone work and the 2-minute, at the end of the game, Ben, those are ones that really, if you were to mark down a couple ones that you want to stand out, there's some. But all of it's good, and like I said, I really enjoy these practices because you get different looks, nothing scripted in that way. So it's nice to see it.
Hey, Coach, talking about the different looks, what are you hoping to walk away from seeing from people that are still trying to jar for positions in the scrimmage and also in the game?
Yeah, and there's a lot of those spots, and that's what's kind of fun about what the next 2 weeks can represent. To say, last night, for instance, I asked, left some space, say, where are you at with your game? And just kind of let that settle and say, all right, now that we're here, what'd you like from last Thursday and last Saturday, and what do you want to get done? What do you want to see more of, today and into Saturday? And so all of us have those things, coaches included. And so I want to make sure that, coming into here, intentional about what you're trying to improve upon, because there's a lot of spots that we're really right in the thick of it. And so that's why moments like today and Saturday and into next week, they really matter, because it may be the fourth and fifth corner, this returner, swing tackle, third or fourth running back, all of these spots, there's still so much to put into the table. And so that's why I like performing at a practice here is big, and we put guys in really tough spots in the practice to see how they're going to respond. So although it's not a game, sometimes the practice in some ways can be even more difficult because we're calling plays to say, let's test this person and see what it looks like.
Take three more.
Coach, during this portion of getting ready for the season, how can you kind of effectively go about getting your defense to create more takeaways?
Yeah, it's important, and I think it's every day talking about it, thinking about it. At the spot in practice, you have to, is this one I can go take a shot on, or do I have to stay on top of? And so having the discipline to do that over and over again, it's something that you need to work on. And so for me, the tackling and the ball hawking defensively is a big piece, just like breaking tackles and, ball security on offense. So those two things are always kind of at the front of my thinking, and lots of examples that I show to the team, they come from those two topics a lot. Yes.
You got a couple of young guys there in the back with play well. What just curious with your thoughts on the safety room, sort of that back end and what you're kind of looking
Yeah, I think it's a strong room, Ben. I really do, because tight end is that way as well. Where there's just a group of guys that are really battling for it, and so that's how does it factor into special teams and different rotations? And so we'll use a lot of safeties in different sets. Sometimes there's 3 safeties, sometimes there could be 4, depending on the package. But by and large, I've been pleased with the group. You're trying to find, okay, who can play more middle of the field, who can play down and cover a tight end. So not safety as a general spot, but the individual spots of it. But it has been a group that I've been really pleased with.
Time for one more. Good. All right.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
A little sticky.